What's going on YouTube? Chris here. I want to bring y'all an update today of Bitcoin, and what we're going to be looking at is the Bitcoin Fear and Greed Index chart. And right now it's at extreme greed. And I wanted to point that out because we're also very overextended on many of our oscillators, the RSI. But what I wanted to also, kind of put on your radar here is that at these levels, when you see extreme greed, it can get extremely volatile here because overall we don't have too many more resistances overhead before we hit that $20,000 to test our all-time high again. So when we're looking at this extreme greed, this is where on the charts what I like to do best. This is just something, this is not financial advice, but what I like to do when I'm in a position and it's really starting to get overextended, RSI is getting up into the 80s, the 90s, different things like that. Try to just keep moving your stop loss up as the price moves up. And then once it starts to reverse, you'll get stopped out. And then you start looking at areas, support areas, where you potentially could buy back in, because eventually here Bitcoin's going to need to calm down. But this is the area, things can get pretty crazy. And I want to point out that right now it's at extreme greed at 90. Yesterday was at greed at 72, so this was a pretty big jump here, and that's why it can get so volatile, because typically when Bitcoin runs really hard, it has these big pushes at the end, and these big pushes, the price can just go nuts, where you see several $1,000s even in about 2 or 3 days a change, where Bitcoin could go from $15,000 up to $18,000 overnight even. I mean, that type of stuff happens, as well as to the downside, but that's how Bitcoin moves. So it's going to get very volatile in this area, and really watch these overhead resistance spots. What I've been monitoring right now, this was a position I was playing, and I'm taking some laddering out, taking some profits in it, was Civic. This here is up 71%. It got a nice listing, so I was happy about that, and I was in from down in here. So this has just been slowly laddering out, taking some profits, because typically with the Coinbase pumps and all that type of stuff, it pumps up and then it'll almost go back to where it was, and then it'll start over again and just keep going. So I think it's a good idea to ladder out, but I'm paying a lot of attention to that right now, trying to take some profits. Haven't been looking a ton at Bitcoin just due to that situation, but I wanted to point some things out on Bitcoin as we're getting into this chart here. So we're going to go up into the 1-day time frame, and you can see right up here we're getting these longer wicks, some profit taking on heavier volume. You see that's above average volume right up in this area. But we have many times as we continue this push throughout, we'll get candles that look like this, and then we get this next leg to the upside. Even volume here, we had some heavy volume, then keeps going to the upside, and this is why I don't short Bitcoin. Bitcoin can get insane, guys. It really can. I mean, it's something that you won't expect it to keep going higher, and it just keeps just chugging along. And that's the Bitcoin bulls, and that's what we're in this space for. But we have to pay attention to this very long candle here, and this was the short squeeze that took place. So shorts were covering, and then the price got pushed up here, and then we had more buying come in. So that's why I think some guys may be taking their profits here. RSI up around 81 right now, so it's just going to get a little hairy in this area, and I want you to be aware that we're very overextended, pushed away from the 20 EMA, and a lot of times that's what we'll stay up above in our uptrend. But that'd be back to around like 13,500, 13,800 if we do have a nice cool down at some point in the days to come here. So really watch these areas, guys. But if you get something from this, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. God bless each and every one of you. Take care, my friends.